Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Austin. This is Gone in 60. Welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be covering which car makes a better daily driver. My 2019 Dodge Challenger Scat Pack or my 2020 Ford Mustang Bullitt. So I'm going to throw up on the screen the judging criteria for today, the different categories and what we're going to be using. All of these are my opinions, guys. I've owned both of these cars, so obviously it's going to be a little bit more biased on what I prefer and what I like, and that might be different for you guys. However, I'm going to try and be as unbiased as I possibly can be, and I'm just going to share with you guys which car makes the better daily driver off of the categories listed up here on the screen. So with that, guys, let's jump into it and let's find out which car will win. First category, comfort. So obviously the Ford Mustang Bullitt, I have leather seats. In my Dodge Challenger Scat Pack, I had cloth seats. So I'm not going to talk about the comparisons between those two. However, just comfort in the car, in my mind, encompasses a few things. It is comfort to sit in, comfort to drive, the space around you, leg room, just how comfortable are you in the car. And overall, both cars are very, very comfortable. However, in the Dodge Challenger, there's just a little bit more room in the cabin. It's a little bit wider of a car. The seats are a little bit wider. They're very comfortable. The Mustang seats are very, very comfortable. You know, in the Challenger, you have plenty of room in there. And so with the first category, I'm actually going to give the thumbs up to the Dodge Challenger. But just know, guys, both of these cars are very comfortable to drive. You do not feel cramped in it like you do a Camaro or some of the other brands out there. So honestly, the Ford does really well, but just due to the size, the space that you have inside of it, due to just kind of the seat size, if you're a little bit bigger person, you're going to fit better in the Challenger seats than you would the Mustang seats. However, guys, these seats are very comfortable, but just due to the overall size and space that you have in the car, you know, there's things like cup holders in the doors of the Challenger. It's just a little bit more comfortable as you're looking to daily drive these cars. So while we're still in the car, let's jump to the second category, which is seating and seating room. So if you're sitting in the front seat of the Mustang, it actually feels very comfortable. You know, I can move my seat forward and back and, you know, really, really easy. However, when you get to the back seat, which I'll share some clips with you guys, there's just not a lot of room in these Mustangs. If you have somebody that's an adult, they're going to be very uncomfortable and very cramped in the back seat. So, you know, obviously if you have a two-door car that you're daily driving, I imagine for business use or for work, you're not going to be putting a lot of people in the back seat. However, with the Challenger, there's just a lot of room. I did go try and jump in the back seat of my Mustang Bullitt, and it was a little bit challenging getting in and out. I am 5'11", and my head was hitting on the roof. Is really tough to kind of get in and out. In terms of the front seats, there's plenty of space. I've had some people in my car that are a little bit bigger and they fit no problem in the front seat of the Mustang. But just due to daily driver functionality and use, because the Challenger just has more space in the back seat and just overall just more space just in general, more headroom. In my Challenger, I did not hit my head on the seat when I would sit in the back seat. It was close, but with the Mustang, I had to duck down. With the Camaro, it's more down to the side. So the second category, again, guys, I'm giving the thumbs up when it comes to seating to the Dodge. The next category up is visibility. Honestly, both the Challenger and the Mustang have great visibility. I have enjoyed driving both cars. They are not that hard to drive. When you get into the Camaro, different story, and I'm not trying to hate on the Camaro. Let's keep it to the Mustang and the Challenger. However, you know, both cars have great visibility. You know, I do have a winner in this category, and I'm actually going to give it to the Ford. The Ford has tremendous visibility. Like, I do not struggle whatsoever in this car to see out of, and honestly, I didn't see out of the Challenger. However, for the Challenger, when you get to the back window, that's where I struggled a little bit in terms of visibility. It's not bad, guys. It's just a little bit more squished than the Mustang is. But the Mustang, you know, it's just a little bit more of a kind of a bubble as you kind of get up towards the window. And just visibility wise, Ford's going to put their first thumbs up on the board because I'm going to give the visibility category slightly to the Ford over the Challenger. All right, so next up is storage, and that's going to encompass the trunk. That's going to encompass cup holders. That's going to encompass, you know, glove compartments, any storage that you have. And, you know, as we use the Ford Mustang Bullitt, it's actually great. It does have two cup holders in here in the front. It doesn't have any in the doors like my Challenger had. I personally love drinking big gulp sodas, and it was so nice just to put those both, one in each door, and it was really easy. In terms of trunk space, Both cars do very well, surprisingly, in terms of trunk space. I don't think you're gonna need more or want more. I do believe and know that the Challenger's trunk space is bigger than the Mustang's. Obviously I have a staff bag, golf clubs in my back seat, and it's tough to get it in there. Golf clubs can fit horizontally if I have a different bag. It did in the Challenger, but it just had a couple more inches of room in the Challenger when it comes to trunk. So with the Challenger having more cup holders, with the Challenger just having more storage space in the trunk, obviously glove boxes are very similar. Both cars kind of have, a storage compartment right there. However, with the Challenger, it just has a little bit more space even in the storage compartments. And so with that, as it comes just to overall storage and functional use for a daily driver, the thumbs up is going to the Challenger on this one. All right, guys, the next category up on the list is parking. Now, guys, both of these cars park just fine. There's no issue with either car. However, when you're talking about, going to get groceries or just going in and out of traffic or going into, an office building or wherever it might be, you're going to run into parking lots and you're going to need to park this car. Hopefully you're like me and like to park way away from everyone. However, when it comes to just parking and size alone, both cars park just fine, but due to the size aspect, the Mustang is easier to just maneuver in and out of parking lots and into parking spaces. Both cars do great. So due to the Mustang size, guys, and just being able to maneuver in and out of parking lots better, this round's winner is going to be the Mustang. So in terms of fuel economy, you guys aren't buying this car because of fuel economy. Let's get real. You're not buying a 480 horsepower car to worry about fuel economy. However, as a daily driver, you need to be aware of how well or poorly these cars do when it comes to gas mileage. So when it comes to these two cars, the Dodge Challenger has a bigger gas tank. It can hold 18.5 gallons of gasoline, and the Mustang can hold 16. When it comes to actually MPG, I found on my Challenger Scat Pack, I would typically average right around 17 to 17 and a half miles per gallon. When it comes to the Mustang Bullitt, I'll share with you guys my overall trip of all of my driving, and a lot of my driving is combined. I've averaged around 19 miles per gallon. So even though that the Mustang's tank is smaller and it doesn't hold as much fuel, it actually gets maybe 1 or 2 more miles per gallon. However, you're going to be at the gas station both at the same time due to the size of tanks and how much they get miles per gallon. Actually, these cars don't do too bad for the power you get and kind of that fun factor you get when it comes to fuel economy. So with that, guys, I don't have a winner when it comes to fuel economy. The only winner is the gas stations and the governments when it comes to fuel economy. But guys, no clear winner in that category. All right, guys, so the next two categories we're going to talk about is road noise and ride quality. So road noise. I feel both of these cars drive down the road very well. These cars are cruisers. Guys, go take them out on a long road trip. They're fun. They're comfortable. They're awesome. Road noise, I didn't hear like a lot of wind, kind of coming into the car, or the sound of the car going really fast down the road. I think both cars do really well and they handle high speeds very well. I really don't have a clear winner when it comes to that. However, with some of the interior rattling that I have on my Mustang, not to say my Challenger was perfect, but when I don't have my music on, and I've shared some clips of just kind of the road noise that comes in, or just kind of the rattling of my car, even just at light speeds, I haven't taken it, in a while on a long road trip on the freeway. I would be kind of curious to know how it would do. But just due to my car having a little bit more rattles as I'm driving around town, I'm going to give the thumbs up on this one to the Dodge Challenger. However, guys, it might just be particular to my car, but as you're at higher speeds, just know both of these cars do very well and you're going to enjoy them. Now, when it comes to ride quality, I'm going to give both of these cars a tie when it comes to ride quality. My car has the MagneRide suspension. I can't compare that because it's a feature that my Challenger I didn't have on it. It wasn't optioned out that way. However, both of these cars handle very well when it comes to just bumps in the road and kind of going over things. They handle them really well. And so when it comes to ride quality, I feel like both are very similar. They're cruisers. You hit a bump in the road, you're going to feel it, but it's not going to shake the feelings out of your head. So with that, guys, I don't have a clear winner when it comes to ride quality. All right, so the next category is handling. And, obviously these cars are just different platforms. They're just built different. And both cars do very well when it comes to handling. Obviously if you're going to take it to a track, that's a whole nother conversation. But we're talking about daily driver use. Maybe going up through canyons. Maybe, you know, you're going on a road trip through work or whatever it might be. But you're going to get thrown a lot of different conditions, and I feel both cars handle very well. However, I feel with the Mustang, just due to its nimbleness, it weighs less. You know, we're talking about 500 pounds less. You know, my Scat Pack had 245s on the back. This has 275s. This has summer tires. That might play into it some. However, the Mustang is just more nimble. It's easier to get around in corners. If you need to dodge a pothole, if you need to dodge a car that's all of a sudden slammed on their brakes, I think both cars are going to do well. However, the Mustang, just due to its size and nimbleness and weight reduction, it's going to be able to just dodge it just a little bit better. See how I worded that in there? But the Mustang, I'm going to give the winner in the handling category just because it does handle corners better. The Challenger is not a slouch by any means. Obviously, it's a heavy car. It's a bigger car. If you were to take both of these cars to the track, that would also be a different story too. However, as a daily driver and having to maybe dodge some debris on the freeway or in the road, I think both cars will handle it, but the Mustang, I'm going to give the thumbs up on this one. All right, guys, so let's talk about fun factor, because if you're driving these as a daily, there needs to be a fun factor in it. Otherwise, go get a Prius, go get a Civic, go get something that is super easy to drive, but you want to look awesome driving down the road and you want to have fun. And you know, there's nothing better than having a stressful day at work and hopping in your ride that you love and just smashing on the gas as you get on the freeway. There's nothing better than that. So there has to be a fun factor. Both of these cars are extremely fun. However, when you look at a daily driver, you're typically not going at highway speeds all the time. You're going slower. You know, you're going to accelerate to get into traffic and out of traffic. And so, you know, with the Challenger just having more torque than the Mustang, the Challenger has 475 pound-feet of torque and the Mustang has 420. You can get so sideways and so sloppy with the Challenger so fast, where with the Mustang you don't have that as much. So with the fun factor on this one, guys, both cars are extremely fun to drive and own. However, due to the torque and just throwing you back in your seat and all over the road, I'm giving the thumbs up to this one on the Challenger. And for the last category, guys, this is unique because I realize not all of you have a manual transmissions. A lot of you have opted for an automatic. So if you have an automatic, this last category, it doesn't mean anything. If you have a manual, I think this is important. So one of the things that you guys are encounter if you're driving a manual is getting stuck in traffic. And as you guys know, there's a lot of pushing the clutch in and out and trying to space the cars in front of you just enough so you don't have to switch or push in the clutch again. And you can build up some pretty big calves driving a manual transmission car like this, especially if you live in an area where there's a lot of traffic. Both of the cars do great. They're awesome. However, due to the stiffness of the Challenger clutch versus the Mustang, I think the Mustang is easier to daily drive when it comes to a shifting aspect. Now, this car, I have issues with the MT82 transmission. It grinds in second and third. Sometimes it'll lock you out a little bit. The Challenger never did that to me, and the Tremec is a lot more bulletproof. However, just due to the ease of pushing in the clutch on the Mustang, I just think it makes for a little bit easier of a daily driver. Not impossible by the Challenger by any means. It was great. However, just due to how the clutch is on the Mustang and the release point, I find myself not ever really, knock on plastic, stalling the car as much as I did the Challenger. The Challenger sometimes I struggled with a little bit. Now, obviously, guys, there's modifications you can make. You can change springs, you can change different things to make it so it's more comfortable to you. However, if I'm just looking at the daily aspect driving of it and how many times you're pushing the clutch, I'm going to give the thumbs up in this category to the Mustang. All right, guys, so if we throw all the results up on the screen, let's go ahead and add up all the differences between these two cars and let's see if we have a winner. So as we look at all categories and we add it up, I have 5 thumbs up to the Dodge Challenger and I have 4 to the Ford Mustang. And obviously there's a couple categories that's undecided, that there just wasn't a clear winner. Obviously, guys, this is extremely, extremely close. I think it depends on your own personal preferences. So there might be things that you guys value more in a daily driver than the things that I did, and maybe I left out a category or two. I would love to know your guys' thoughts below if you think there's anything else that should have been included in this test that maybe I forgot or left out. Obviously, it was extremely close. However, as you're looking to daily drive these cars, I gave the very, very slight edge to the Dodge Challenger over the Ford Mustang. Guys, I'm Austin with Gone in 60. Thank you guys for watching today's video, and we'll catch you on the next one.